Hi, I'm the Bandit, and in today's video, I'll be fitting Detroit Speed and Engineering weld-in subframe connectors on my 1970 Chevy Nova. I'll clean the underside of the car, take out the interior, talk about the design of these connectors, cut the floor, and adjust for fitment. Let's get started. Alright, I got the car situated on the driveway and I'm going to try to clean the undercarriage a bit. Bought a couple of tools for my pressure washer. I got an undercarriage sprayer. Thing rolls underneath, which is cool, and then I got this foam blaster gun. I'm going to try to get some of that detergent under there and clean up because I'm going to do subframe connectors. I don't really want to deal with all the dirt and road grime that's under here. It's going to be a mess, so figured I'll clean it first and hopefully that'll make the job easier. So here's the new toy, the Undercarriage Cleaner. It's got the 3 fan jets on it, and then it has this guy which you can pull this little release pin, you can change the angle on it, use it as a undercarriage cleaner or as a sweep. Oh yeah, that's awesome. Oh damn. That's cool. It's gotta be one of my new favorite toys here. That'll get it clean, huh? Yeah, I think so. A little water sweep for you. Let's see how this turned out. Bad. Not bad. A lot of that grease is gone now, not all of it. I'll spot clean where I have to, but I think it's good enough for cutting. Got it up on the wheel cribs that I built out of 2x4s, and I strapped them just in case of earthquake. First thing I got to do is strip out this interior so I can get all the floor exposed, and I don't have to worry about setting my carpet on fire, so we'll get right to work. Detroit Speed subframe connectors. I've already taken some of the packaging out. Alright, there's the instructions. Comes with some templates in here. So you get these full-size cutting templates that you can use. Shows you how far to go from the pinch weld. I'll probably double check against the frame also just to make sure it's right. So this all gets cut out, and then there's some measurements that you need to position this from. I'm not really sure what this means back here. There's a dashed line. I assume you're going to cut out this big part, but I'm not sure what the dash line means, so hopefully the instructions will explain. And it also comes with, you know, a little bit of swag, which is nice. Try to drive some product loyalty, and I gotta say the stickers are not what's doing it for me. Detroit Speed has some really good, well-engineered products. I've used a few of their things in the past, and out of my brake booster and Master with their brackets, and they have a really nice seal that's engineered for that. So let's see what we got for the subframe connectors. Alright, so 2x3 tubing. Okay, this end's pretty simple, just straight tubing. It's been cut and welded, looks like TIG welded around at an angle. This side isn't cut, so this must have been notched, I think. It looks like it. Yeah, I don't see any signs of grinding, so I think it was just bent, so it was probably notched and bent. And then the back is where all the magic happens here. You can see it's tapered. This is how wide the frame is at the back of the car. And then there's this notch that's going right here that's going to go around part of the floor pan so that this can meet up with the frame and this can meet up with the kind of the torque box that's in the back of the car. So this is a pretty nicely fitted piece. It would take me a long time to make that just right, and they've already got it engineered, so hopefully it fits well. Also in the package, these angle sort of brackets. These are what weld to the subframe, the front subframe, and then they get rosette welded, and there's one on either side of the subframe connector. So you get a bunch of those. There's also a pair of caps. This is going to close off the front down here. Alright, so little looks like it's been laser cut. These are all laser cut brackets. And Detroit Speed does a really good job of, all their parts are marked. You've got a, kind of a part number here, which I think is just a sign of a company that knows how to control the design, and usually is reflected as good quality control. So I'm happy about that. And then, second subframe connector. This one's just a mirror image of the first. I don't remember which side's which. I'll have to get under there and take a look. But it comes coated in kind of a, sticky gel that's keeping it from rusting. So before I go to put this in, I'll clean this all off with brake cleaner or some kind of a solvent. Alright, so the template. I'm thinking that this dash line is probably a fold. Maybe it folds over the back of the floor pan where the floor pan bends. We'll see when I get it under there. Go ahead and get this thing cut out so it's ready to go. Alright. There we go. Okay, we got a template. Looks pretty good. So I'll get under the car and start measuring. Alright, hopefully to make my life a little easier here, I bought a cheap creeper from Harbor Freight. This is a unit that has an adjustable headrest, so you can set this up a little bit higher. There's a little lever right here on the side to adjust, which might be good for welding. Just to get my head up close to when I'm welding. So here we are under the car. So this is where the subframe connector is going to go, from right there at the subframe. It's going to pass along and weld to this cross member. It's going to cut through the floor, so I'll be notching out the floor here. Then it'll make its way back here and connect to the subframe, which is kind of up in here, right next to the leaf spring where it mounts. Measure once, cut a few times. That's what I always say. So that's a little bit. I guess we're not building Swiss watches here. Put a scribe around it. So I'll start at the front here. Little marks there and there. Bring it up here. Okay. this all mapped out. I did my measuring, I did my marking. Alright, you can see I put a red line along here with the red Sharpie. And here's where it cuts across. It's right on this ridge. So okay, so this is gonna have there. French up. Oh, I cut there. I said peekaboo. I'm finally getting these in after a little trimming, but it's hard to get them up quite far enough back in order to go up, because my frame, I guess, is where it is. But it's actually okay. It's just it's fitting so tightly at the back. Take this pry bar, and it fits in there just fine. All right, I was able to get the subframe connector up in there. You can see, you know, if I push on this up a little bit, it'll stay in contact here. But there is a little bit of a gap here at the front of the floorboard, so I think if you're doing this, you might want to cut a little less, try it out, cut a little more until you get a good fit. Now I've got a gap I'm gonna have to fill in somehow, but I think it'll be all right. The rest of it looks pretty good, very tight. I mean, I just trimmed along the template for most of this thing, and it's right where it needs to be. This is what the subframe connector looks like after cutting just along the template, and I have definitely some gaps down here on this side. There's a pretty good amount of gap there, and then up front, you know, where this ended up being, there's quite a bit of gap, and then around the two corners because of that. But I also noticed that I need to cut a little bit further because there's a little bit of a gap behind this. So if I cut this area a little bit, I'll be able to slide the whole subframe connector back. And I noticed something similar under here. The connector needs to come back still a little bit here so it can contact the frame. There's, you know, a little bit of a gap there. And it looks to me like this edge is pretty far, you know, to the left. It's not meeting up with the edge of the subframe very well. At the same time, I've got a little bit of clearance for the leaf spring perch, so I'll see if I can get it to move over a little bit when I notch a little bit more out of this area here of the floor pan, and then maybe I can get that to line up better. So back here, it's gotten pretty tight now. It's right up against, I think, against that. I don't think I can get any closer there. Underneath, though, underneath the car, and it still has a bit of a gap at the back, and I can't get any further the back unless I want to trim on the top of the subframe connector, which I might do just to bring this back. And you can see, you know, it's offset from the frame probably a good 1/4 of an inch, which is disappointing. It would have been nice if it was lined up just right. Alright, so I trimmed that edge, this whole edge along here that contacts the torque box of the floor pan at the back, and that was exactly what I needed to do. Underneath the car, back here at the very back of the frame, I now have, you know, no gap back here. This will weld very easily. So looking inside the car, there is a ridge here. I don't think it's able to get past. It's this hump here that this is running into when I try to knock it. I'm gonna try to knock it that direction so it'll fill in this gap back here. It's just hitting back here. It won't move any further, so I'm gonna have to trim a little over there. See if I can make a little space right here. So after that work with the hammer, I was able to get it a fair bit closer. It's still not perfectly aligned. Those edges are a lot closer than they were. I don't really have a lot of room to move over here anyway with the leaf spring perch, so fit at the back is really close. Right here is good. I think it'll be easy to weld along here, but I did end up with a good sized gap along this area of the floor pan, so I'll have to fill that in. I'll try to fill it from the top. It'll be a lot easier to weld in the horizontal. So yeah, I'm happy with that now. That was worth doing a little bit of extra work to get that fitment. So pretty soon I'll be ready to weld these in. That is it for now. Stay tuned for the next video. If you have any questions, leave a comment below. Be sure to check out some of my other videos over here, or you can subscribe. Thanks, see you next time.